The topic of today is the business of engineering in medical device manufacturing. So this is then about how we have seen this evolving from how we saw it when we entered this market, when I started working in the medical device industry 15 years ago, and into how we see it today and where the companies actually want to go. And if we take a look 15 years ago, when we came to our customers, and what we saw then were that most of the work were done in silos. So the companies was very compartmentalized. There were clearly defined boundaries between departments. There were a lot of manual processes. And if we look at, from our point of view as a software vendor, what the focus was back then, it was very much on CAD management and document management. Everything else was very, very manual. If we then jump 10 years out into the future and 5 years ago, then we see that over those 10 years, companies have tried to break down these silos. We see that product complexity have increased immensely with much more software, much more electronics in the product, so that the product complexity have increased immensely. That, of course, means that the amount of data has also increased, and it has to be managed. So a lot of companies then introduced a lot of systems to help them manage this, manage data and manage processes, like QMS systems, PDM system, requirements management, document management, a lot of point solutions to try and solve all the challenges that these different, that the complexity of the company has generated. And we also saw that employees didn't stay that long anymore at the companies. They stayed for a few years, then moved on to the next better thing. And that meant that keeping the knowledge inside of the company about processes, how we do things, how do we do change management, how do we do CAD management, where is our part numbering system, and so on. It eroded, and it was difficult to keep that knowledge inside of the house. So of course that generated more challenges. And if we look at today, then we can see that basically the companies and the products that they have is now even more complex. The complexity of today's products is so enormous, and it generates a huge amount of data that then needs to be controlled. In addition to that, the complexity of the supply chain, how you collaborate with partners, have also just exploded because companies now mostly focus on their core competences, focus on what they are good at. If you are good at PCBA design, you do that. Then you don't necessarily do the manufacturing of it, that you get someone else to do. So you focus on what you are good at. If we look then at the employees, they are now more and more individualists. They want new technology. They don't want to work in these old processes. They want to have something that makes everything more efficient, and they don't make them waste time. And that is, of course, a challenge when the amount of data today generated in the companies are so huge. It's so much data, and it's very difficult for our customers to actually manage it. And that's why today a lot of companies are looking into getting enterprise PLM to solve these issues.